Hello everyone, welcome to the Lord of the Rings Online. This is Narlo here. Say hello to everyone, Narlo. Good boy. When last we left off, we had just ridden into the Inidwaith here. We had come down from Eregion, traveled down through the lower part of Eregion, past the river down here to the camp of, is it Eka? Eka Dagorus. And we have to find out what we can do. We are coming into the kind of the vanguard of the Grey Company here and trying to find out what we can do to make their trip better and make their trip safer as we move on down through the Inidwaith and then come down into Dunland down here. On our way down to travel with the Grey Company down to the Gap of Rohan so they can assist Aragorn. So we are going to come over here. We are told that we need to find Lothendir, the ranger who has gone before us. We will come and speak to him. Another one of the incognito rangers. And let us talk to him and find out what is going on in Chapter 9, The Plains of Inidwaith.
The men of Dunland are a wild people, and they care little for the Dunedain.
The road south is a long one, Narlo. You should know something of this land and its people. The men of Dunland are a wild people, and they care little for the Dunedain, and not at all for the men of Rohan. They have warred with the Rohirrim and covet still their lands. It is their strongly held belief that these lands belong to the men of Dunland. They are proud and fierce, quick to anger and slow to forgiveness. They tolerate no weakness or are suspicious of outsiders. During my time here in the Southlands, it seemed to me that these men had no identity as Dunlendings, thinking of themselves instead as members of particular clans dominated by strong, willful leaders. Dagorus has met already with a member of one such clan, Wadu of the Ukluth. He has set aside his suspicions, for the moment, and you might learn something of his people by speaking with him. So we need to talk to Wadu and learn about his people. And his people, Wadu should be around here somewhere. See over here? Is that our next little gold ring up over our head? It is indeed. There's the Dunlending Wadu. So let us go and talk to him. Quite the interesting character. Quite the interesting character indeed. Looks like you can tell the Dunlendings are kind of from the same stock that the people of Forcale are.
You have come with these men, but you are not one of them.
You have come with these men, but you are not one of them. The warning I gave to this man, this Dagorus, I give to you. My people will not allow you to interfere with their lives. You may pass through these lands, but you cannot stay. Strength only do they respect, strength such as mine or my father Suvok. Even my sister Nona wields a sword, and I wager she does so with greater skill than any of these Duvodiad.
The Ukluth clan will tolerate your presence, but others will be hostile.
Chapter 10, Blood Marks. The Ukluth will tolerate your presence, but other Dunlending Luth will be openly hostile. They have been given gold and now forgotten their true alliances. Many of them traveled north into the land of the Holly, but they have returned. They are cowards on their own, and they are cowards on behalf of their new master. But these Luth that fight for gold have no loyalty to their former brothers. They fight even the Ukluth. For every one of my people they slay, they put a mark in blood on a chip of wood. They believe their new master will pay them for every one of their kinsmen they slay. It is an abomination. They have already killed some of my people. Travel to the deserters' camps north of here and deprive them of the blood marks that they have already collected. Recover the weapons of my fallen brothers. I do not want them taken by their foes. So we are traveling into the deserters' camps north of the area here, the Eka Dagorus, and we are collecting 8 blood marks from the Dunlendings, and collect 4 weapons of the fallen Ukluth clansmen. Alright, that we can do. Up in the Fortress. And let's see where that is going to be. Let's pull up our map right quick. Alright, well, the Fortress is not actually north of here, is it? Maybe up in this area? Alrighty. I wonder if any of them in the any of the ones in the Fortress would do. Perhaps, rather than just the ones to the camps to the north. We will see. Did I get a... Nope, I was thinking... Level change, yes! We just leveled up to level 71. I did not realize we'd done that. I saw that. I didn't know if it was our weapon leveling up or if we had found a new deed or what it was. All right, level 71. Wow. Well, that explains why this went from light blue to green, doesn't it? Okay. All right, let us travel on out here, see if we can find these cowards, the deserters. And we are going to collect the blood marks from them. Once again, we will see if we can collect it from any of them in the area, or whether it's a situation we have to find a camp of them. Basically, as long as we're in the Fortress here, I think we will be okay. But this time we will ride on back down to the road. I think that will help instead of cutting across country. Alright, now let's try to the... Whoop, there we go. There's a deserter shield bearer. So let's see what might be done with that one, shall we? And if we get what we need to off of this one, it will allow us to know new deed, Dunlin Slayer. And we've gotten a blood mark right there. Collected blood marks from the Dunlendings. 1 of 8. So that is correct. We can hunt the Dunlendings. It looks like any of the Dunlendings perhaps here in Fortress we'll be able to do this with. Let's move on down past these wolves. Nothing here since everything's gone gray to us all of a sudden. Nothing should bother us too much. But let's try this shield bearer, shall we? And if this one gives us the same thing, actually we can hover over them, can't we? Yep. Collect blood marks and collect weapons. Let's see if we can get a weapon this time. They distract easy. That is for sure. Whoa, nice hit. Look at that big. We took off about, what, 1/3 of his hit points there. Fantastic. Collected blood marks again. Did we get any weapons this time? No weapons this time, but definitely hovering over them saw that we can. So we are going to continue on along. Did we get another deed? Deed bestowed. Dunlending Slayer? Dunlending Slayer. We have to kill 100 Dunlendings here in the Inidwaith. Easy enough. Alright, y'all see what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be following along close to the road here. Seeing if we can kill more Dunlendings. Collect all the 8 blood marks and the 4 weapons. And then we will ride back up to Ekad Dagarath. And, Dagaras, and see if we can turn them in and what Wadu has to say about that. So we will see you again in just a little bit here. Alright everyone, as you see here, we have managed to get the blood marks from all 8 of the Dunlendings that we were trying to get them from. As you see, this small wooden chip has blood smeared deliberately upon it. The other thing is that we got to looking at it, it says recover weapons from the fallen clansmen. So in looking at it, it was like asked to recover the weapons from the fallen kinsmen before they could be over here. So even though these people have, you know, these Dunlendings, you hover over them, it does say the recover weapons. I don't think you can actually get it from them. I think we're having to look for like a fallen clansman. So that's what we're doing now. We're wandering around all in this area, continuing to search the Fortress here until we can find maybe a body or something lying on the ground. See if we can find where these fallen clansmen are. And that was probably a lot easier back in the day before this frill, before all these bushes got added in. And maybe you could see the bodies from a longer distance away. But that's what we're going to do. It's why I'm zoomed out so far. We're going to keep looking until we can find, I I'm thinking a body, or until we come across a camp of the Dunlendings, perhaps. And maybe that'll help us out. But once we find it, we will let you know what we're looking for. And we will see you then. All right, see you then. Whoop, here's a camp right here. Let's come up to the camp. So he mentioned the camps of the deserters, didn't he? Let's come on up to the camp, if that's what this is, and see if there are any bodies. Do we see any sparklies or anything? Ooh, new deed. The Cartrevs of Inidwaith. Cartrev Duved. Alright, and that's giving me us a you have discovered, which means that this one gets a travelogue entry. So we'll put that in. And in the meantime, I will continue looking around, see if we can find these fallen Dunedain and their weapons. The Cartrevs of Inidwaith. The clansmen of the Ukluth have many outlying farmsteads, though they have come under attack from invaders from the south. Cartrev Duved. This hut is the home of the shepherd Duved. Along with his daughter Avanen, he tends his flocks in Forderith. Alright, that's the travelogue entry. We'll pull it up on the map here. You see our point. There is Cartrev Duved. There's apparently, I think, 5 of them to find. Is that correct? Yep, 5 of them to find. So we will keep stumbling across them as we come across it. And in the meantime, we are going to keep looking and seeing if we can find those weapons. So we'll see you again in just a little bit here. Alright, further note in my explorations here, as you see, there's another deserter right there, and we are in Forderith, as you see from the map, but hovering over him just gives us a Dunlending toward our defeat Dunlending's deed. He doesn't actually show the chapter 10, so no matter, even if we are in Forderith here, apparently we do actually have to be north of Eka Dagaras here in order to find the Dunlendings that we are actually trying to get these weapons and all from, or to find these fallen bodies, perhaps. So we are heading back up. As you see, we have wandered south. I was wandering around through the other parts of the Forderith. So we're going to head on north, I'm sorry. And we will try our luck again over here. Perhaps not quite so far afield. Maybe up in this area and see what we can find up in there. And we will get back to you. Another thing I can say, boy, we are finding all sorts of things while we're out here, except for what we're looking for. Here's a dwarf marker. Remember that dwarf marker that we had over in... Whoop, there we go. There's a fallen Ukluth. There we are. Fantastic. Here's a dwarf marker. I will show you where we are on the map. See, right there, kind of just above that little hill area there, just to the right of that tree on the map. We have got a dwarf marker. Remember, that's the one. The milestone marks a place where the dwarves of the Lonely Mountain briefly settled on their long road to the Blue Mountains. Remember, we found the one in Thorin's Hall. That was the one that got us started this. So this is the one we have to find, I guess, in Forderith. Let's go ahead and take it. Yep, you have found the dwarf marker in Forderith. Fantastic. Let me see if that has a deed associated with it. If I'm going to look through here, and if I find it, I will pull it up and read it to you, all right? If not, the next thing you know, we'll be going over here and scavenging this body. We did find it. Here it is. It is under Eriador and under, well, I guess the Inidwaith here. I guess each one is under wherever the marker happens to be. So, Exiles from the Lonely Mountain is the name of the quest, of course, the deed. We found the one in Thorin's Hall, which you remember, where they finally settled. Now, this is the dwarf marker in Forderith. This pillar marks a site where the dwarves of the Lonely Mountain, under the leadership of Thrain, encamped during their exile. So there we go. 2 down, 4 more to go. In the meantime, let's come over here to this fallen Ukluth. And let us collect the weapon off the body. There we go. 1 of 4 weapons. Okay. So we aren't that far. The camp is just over that rise. As you see, we're just to the north of it, so we are going to continue searching in this general area here and see if we can find more fallen Ukluth and gather up all of their weapons. Get their 4 weapons off of them so that they don't fall into the hands of the enemy. It is quite an interesting place here with all these rocks and everything. It's quite the... Wondering if they're down in amongst these trees and rocks would be my guess. Yep, there's another one right there. So yeah, they seem to be tucked in all around in these rocks and the trees here. So once again, this Dunlending has been slain by one of his countrymen, though of a different clan. So yeah, as you see, we seem to have to go up and actually look into this area directly pretty much to the north, up here in all the trees and the rocks. So we're going to continue doing that. And when we get the weapons, we will head back to camp. We had another one right over there. We are getting the last one right here. So yeah, they were all in this general area. As you see, basically kind of in a line right across here is where we found them. So let's mount up. Let's head back to Akadagaras as night is falling. See, it's starting to get dark. I'd imagine it's evening now. Let's see if we can get to the camp before night falls. Let's see if we can have just a actual daytime episode for a change. How about that? Something where it doesn't go night on us. Okay, I think this is the road we're after. Should curve to the left and on up to the camp here. So as you see, not very far at all. Take our things back to Wadu, perhaps achieve a measure of respect with him. There's that Caltrev over yonder, the one where we saw the lady standing. It looks like it's across the valley there. Now, let us talk to Wadu. Maybe we will get a little bit of faction with him, perhaps.
These other clans are no longer of my stock. They are like orcs now.
It brings me no joy to see these marks, nor to receive these weapons, for they are reminders of the Ukluth that have fallen, and of the greed of these people that were once my kin. But no more. These other Luth are no longer of my stock. They are cowards, slaves to gold, and are no longer men. They are like orcs now, and the brave Ukluth will treat them like orcs. You will continue to do so. Good. You are not one of us, but you will be a friend of my family. Perhaps we will compare the tallies of the slain when all of Dunland is united again, and under the strong rule of the Ukluth. I look forward to that time. Tell your Duvodiad friends what you have done for Wadu. I am not certain about them, but about you I have made up my mind. Your strength of will is like to mine, and you are made of similar stuff, strong as the stones of Dunland. Alright, so Neo, we need to run over here to Lothrindir. Let him know what we have done for his friend Wadu, and that perhaps we have made their journey through the lands of the Initwith here a little bit easier. The ways of this place are coming back to me after my long absence.
Perhaps Wadu's respect for you will help us as we work with his people.
Wadu at least seems pleased with you, Narlo. If his family ruled the Ukluth, perhaps our road south would be easier. Sadly, it appears that his father, Suvok, though respected by the Brennan of the Ukluth, is not one of his Brehur. Still, respect earned is not respect wasted. Perhaps Wadu's respect for you will help us, as we must deal more closely with the Ukluth. Looks like silver tokens of the wild. That looks held to be considerable value. Yep, it's a barter item. Another landscape token, landscape currency here that you can trade in with the various barters in this area.
Cyrodion has gone on ahead and established a camp in the Windfells.
Looks like our weapon leveled up. I believe that's what that was all about. Yep, legendary item. Alright, Chapter 11, The Blockade. Cyrodion has gone on ahead, Narlo, and established a camp in the Windfells. He planned to investigate the state of the road that runs through Inidwaith and Dunland, for he worried that it had been blocked by hostile Dunlanding clans. Go now to his camp far to the southwest of here, on a hilltop in the Windfells. Help him with his investigation. I know he will be happy to have your help. So we need to talk to Cyrodion at Ekad Cyrodion, which is, again, I believe, means Camp Cyrodion there. So there we are. Next time when we log in, we will be going far down here to the Windfells to see if we can find Ekad Cyrodion. And if I remember from, I think it may be under that tree right there, if I remember from doing these with Glenorin. I didn't get much further than this particular book and all, but I did get this far. I think we need to come down in this area. Or maybe that. That looks like a little bit of a tent, doesn't it? That could be a camp there as well. Or it could be a Dunedain settlement. I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? A Dunlanding settlement. Anyway, we will stop it there. I hope y'all have enjoyed our adventure. Perhaps we have pleased Wadu a little bit, made life in this area a little bit easier. And we will see you next time as we travel further down into the Inidwaith. So until then, thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.